Hello and a very warm welcome to a brand new edition of The Big Picture with me, Frank Pereira. Well, after attacking the land bill for a while now, the Congress has decided to expose the real estate regulatory amendment bill, which the government has listed in the Rajya Sabha for Tuesday. This came after party Vice President Rahul Gandhi met a delegation of home buyers. The party also reached out to various like-minded parties on Sunday and decided to jointly give notice demanding that the bill be referred to a select committee. One of the major grouses of the Congress is that the diluted provisions of the bill makes the legislation pro-builders from being pro-buyers. To discuss this, I have this particular issue I have with me in our studio as well as a guest joining us from outside. With me here is Rashmi Kant of the Congress. Also with me is Sukhpal Singh, Secretary of the Noida Flat Owners Welfare Association, and Gopal Krishna of the BJP. Also here in our studio is Brigadier R.R. Singh, Director General, National Real Estate Development Council, and we are also joined by Sudipta Kumar Pal, Advocate of the Supreme Court. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me on the program. Rashmikant, I'd like to start with you because the Congress seems to have been making quite a bit of noise over the last few days as far as this particular bill is concerned. What is it that you're principally against as far as this bill is concerned?
Well, Frank, primarily I take mild objection to your word about your saying that we are making noise about it. What we are doing is taking up issues that concern the average Indian. In this particular case, in the real estate regulatory bill, this issue affects a vast section of the Indian population consisting of roughly 400 million middle-class people who live in flats. These flats are usually built by builders. The Congress brought this real estate regulatory bill in August 2013 in the Rajya Sabha in order to ensure that it doesn't lapse. And that is why the BJP, what they've done is they brought in amendments to this bill, and they brought in 118 amendments to the bill. Some of them may be typo errors and things like that. But there are 4 or 5 major issues which are anti-consumer here. Now, who goes and buys a flat today? What is the ultimate dream of the youth? That when this government went to the people, they said, we want to fulfill the dreams of the youth. 65% of the people are under 35. And not too many people under 35 actually own a flat. So they do a job. They save their money in order to buy a flat, whether it's a 1-room, 2-room, 3-room flat. They go to a builder. And they're told, okay, you are buying a flat worth 1,000, which is 1,000 square feet. It also mentions, the agreement mentions, that there is a super area which is going to be deducted out of it. What the super area is never defined. In some 1 or 2 unusual cases it might be, but it is never defined. Now, super area consists of steps, staircases, elevator spaces, a balcony. It is not space that you can actually use. So the Congress said that in order to remove this ambiguity, it must be clear to the buyer what he or she is getting. So what they said was that the builder must must make it very clear in the agreement that you have to define the carpet area, which means this is what you can use, minus even the walls, because you can't use the walls.
In a sentence, then, a lot more transparency is what you're demanding?
No, so therefore, what we asked was for carpet area to be defined, which in the amendment has been changed to the word rentable area. Now, what is rentable area is not defined. So, therefore, you are back to square A.
So, there are a lot of ambiguities you're saying, and you need a lot more transparency.
No, that is only point number 1. Point number 2 is, there is close to, people say, just in the NCR area, close to 650,000 families, which have paid money to builders for their flats, and they've not got delivery of them either in schedule, and some builders have left the projects midway. On an average, if you take 4 people per family, you're talking about 25 lakh people being affected by it. So the Congress said that, okay, what you are taking is you're taking money from the buyers in installments, you put them in an escrow account. So if you get 50% from the buyer, you put that 50% in the escrow account so that this money is used for this particular project.
Sure, you made your point. Let me get...
But this is not the only thing.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it ahead in the show, but let's get in the response from the BJP spokesperson as well.
Let me just complete this sentence first. So what they have done is, they have removed this clause. They've removed this clause from 70% to 50%, and therefore the builder is going to take 50% out put it into some other project, play in the share market.
You made your point. You made your point. Gopal Krishna, the Congress has been saying over the last few days that this particular bill is pro-builder, anti-buyer. So do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? He's made some valid points. Why don't you counter what Rashmikant has said?
I would just like to mention on a background on what the debate is. The Congress, whenever they are telling that they are pro for individual householders, why they remembered everything in the last 2013, whether it was land acquisition or a real estate regulatory bill or anything. And then they should now come out that are they supporting, they want the real estate regulatory authority, let me finish it, whether they are supporting the real estate regulatory amendment bill or not as full. There may be minor changes. What happens is that this regulation or legislation is a continuous process. Even if you find that 1961 Income Tax Act, there are so many shortcomings, you have to first support a bill, implement the bill, and the authority has to be set up. There may be some objections. They may be genuine or not. I don't know. That has to be debated in the parliament. But I tell you that there are, basically we should debate, does the Congress support that they want the real estate regulatory bill and authority to be set up or not? Tomorrow it is placed in the parliament. Do you commit, are you supporting, you want the regulatory authority or not? There may be, you are saying,
hold on.
This is a very amusing remark.
Let me finish, I said.
Let me finish.
Well, you are saying that you should clearly define whether it is the covered area or rentable area. That may be, some people may say that rentable area is not clearly defined. We will look into it, come for the debate.
So you're saying we are willing to look into all these aspects of it.
The question what we want to debate today is that India needs a real estate regulatory authority.
Fair enough. You need a regulator.
And after 65 years, there was no regulatory authority. They bought it in a very fair way, and now they want to scuttle the whole issue.
Can I kindly...
It was BJP.
Okay, now...
We ourselves had claimed in 2011 that there should be a real estate regulatory authority because builders take people
are you principally against this bill, or do you want
to ask them?
Let me answer him. Let me answer him very gently with all due respect to you, sir. The fact of the matter is that Congress did several things in the 10 years, right from the Right to Information Act, right to Forest Act.
Let's not
are you principally in favor of
we are deviating. We are deviating from the subject.
Hold on.
Brigadier, I'd like to bring you in.
I think your question is so amusing.
Let's not go back to 10 years. Let's not go back to 10 years.
I'll tell you, okay, if you don't want me to go back to 10 years, even though it's a false allegation that he's put, let me
I'm asking you. I'm not alleging.
No.
Tomorrow
you
it
said,
will be tested on the floor of the House.
Because you worked for 10 years and you've done so.
Rashmikant, are you willing to debate the subject in Parliament?
No, that is not his question. His question is, are you in support of the Real Estate Regulatory Act?
Yes or no?
Authority or not?
Yes, authority, not the act.
Yes.
Authority. With due respect, I'd like to ask you, if we did not want authority, why did we bring the bill?
Will you debate in the parliament tomorrow?
The fact is that we have already...
whatever your clauses are, objections
we have
are...
already said, as he has said, that they should go to a select committee because...
Why to select? This is the point I want to make it. They want to scuttle all...
Okay,
otherwise,
Brigadier, let me bring you into the picture.
Otherwise...
When we are ready to discuss in parliament tomorrow, why you want to send it to
for the simple reason that we also...
Sukhpal wants to come in. Hold on. Rashmikant, let Sukhpal make a point now. Sukhpal, do you want a regulator? Do you want a regulator, yes or no?
We want the representatives of the consumers to be part of
give him a chance to speak.
And not the builders.
Let the common man also respond and see what they have to say. Go ahead.
With all due respect, last couple of days, I have started calling myself Dukhpal. Why? Because from Sukhpal, I have started calling myself Dukhpal.
And this is after 60 years of Congress.
Please, for God's sake, let the common man speak. Yes. Because when you were asking for votes, then it was a common man. But right now, the way the BJP is doing, they have to come and speak out in the open. It is like that we are feeling that we are, losing political patronage. हमें ये लगा था कि that yes, Modi साहब जो है यहाँ पे आ गए हैं, and yes, it is going to be transparency. Right now, I'm not going to speak to BJP or Congress. No, we have had enough. if this is the way they are going to debate, then obviously the bill is not going to come. Then we will live for another 65 years. My only submission is let us discuss constructively and let us discuss what changes we can make in future. Whatever has happened. Whatever has gone, let it be a gone subject. But ab jo hai, let us join hands. Let us make India in true ways. So meri jo hai request Rahul ji se bhi hai. From last 2-3 days, I really appreciate the way Rahul ji and Ajay Maken ji, they have come forward and expressed their support to us. Similarly, I also request Modi ji and Amit Shah ji that please come forward and at least speak that whatever there is in the media, kya wo perception hai or it is a reality. Thank you.
Very well made point there. Of course, a good constructive debate is what we require at the end of the day. Brigadier, but as far as the real estate industry is concerned, there are several loopholes as far as the developers are concerned. And, the agreement as such is not very transparent. Do you believe that there is a need for a regulator immediately to ensure that the buyer is also, compensated well enough when in cases we see that, a due date of 2016 is given, but the project is not completed till about 2020. What does the buyer do then?
There is a need of regulator. That is why this regulatory bill has come. I think the first regulatory bill was placed in the parliament in 2001. And it had been placed in 2001 and since then it is carrying on. And if you compare the 2001 and present bill, it lapsed. It lapsed. It was
it has not been carrying on, sir. You are wrong.
No. It had been, modification has been carrying on.
No modification. This bill was not either in Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha. It was brought in by the UPA government in August of 2013 and there was no regulatory bill, real estate regulatory bill in...
Agreed.
Yes.
We are
so
associated with the regulatory bill right from the beginning, from the scratch. I am only saying in 2001 there was a regulatory bill prepared, but that somehow
it was never placed on the floor of the House.
It did not see the light of the day. Subsequently, same bill has been modified, further discussion. I think this discussion has been going on for last 10 years and finally we have come out with a bill.
Wrong. It was never discussed. It was never brought into parliament.
No parliament. I'm not talking about...
Who was this? You and me discussing doesn't make any difference. The bill will become an act only if it is discussed in parliament.
Within the government.
And the government that brought in was the UPA.
I agree. You should have brought it in 2004, sir.
Let's not talk about who brought it and who did not bring it. We are at a different juncture now. Rashmikant, hold on. We are at a different juncture now. Let's look at the way ahead. Let's forget about what's happened in the past. Let Brigadier make his point. Let him complete.
Now this bill has come. This bill is required. This bill has been brought to bring transparency in the system.
That's correct.
And yes, UPA government has worked on it. This is the bill of the UPA government. I'm not saying that. That has been picked up by the BJP later on.
I'm glad you acknowledge it.
There's no denying the fact. Absolutely right.
I'm glad.
Then I also want to say that if you are discussing the amendments, I personally feel as an individual, there is not much of a difference. I think rather I will feel that the amendments are bringing some better issues also, because in the way that the bill says that only the projects which are already sanctioned will not be coming under purview of the bill. Amendment says that all the projects where even the completion certificate has not been obtained by the developer, that will all come within the purview. So it is a very good step.
So you want to bring the benefits of these perverse amendments retrospectively?
I am
to
not,
the builder.
All the schemes are being covered.
No, we are talking about the real estate regulatory bill.
So
if you are saying that you are going to bring it retrospectively, which the amendments which we consider to be perverse, you are going to benefit the builder retrospectively. Is that what you are planning to do?
No, it is not going. The builders go to, it will be difficult for the builders if the lot many projects come.
No, I will give you the example.
All the projects should come under the new regulatory authority. You are confusing them.
Builders will not like to have this clause that all the projects which are coming from 10 years should also come in the purview of the bill.
If they are incomplete,
and it will be very good in case this can be deleted.
No, the fact of the matter is, now let's come to what is the constructive thing, like you said.
Hold on, let's get in the Supreme Court advocate as well. See, you can go on debating this, you can go on talking about it all you want, Sudipta Kumar Pal, but the moot point at the end of the day is the fact that land is a state matter, and at the end of the day, states can dilute this bill going forward.
No, but in the union territory,
let him complete.
But in Delhi, land comes under the Urban Development Ministry and NCR. We are talking about all over India. We are talking about all over India. But in the case of NCR that he was talking about, it comes under the union
but NCR is just a small part of the country.
Faridabad, it
Sudipta Kumar Pal, why don't you respond to that?
It all comes under the Urban Development Ministry.
Yes. See, my take is that since land is a state subject, it is in the state list, it is the state which is going to eventually finalize as to the shape and size of this particular statute. And whenever a public policy is brought in, there is bound to be various kind of debates. But the fact of the matter is that this law came into being after a huge amount of litigations and various kind of problems that came in the forefront. We have to see that these amendments or the law in the form that is being passed, is it going to be effective and really going to stop all those things? I think with certain amendments that have brought in, there could be a little bit of difficulty because of the fact that, if you leave it on interpretations always allows people to interpret in a manner which favors them, and then eventually it gives rise to a lot of litigation. A law should be so clear and to the buyer and to the builder that less number of litigations come and it works as a deterrent. Rather, I think it was the need of the hour.
Indeed, that's a valid point.
So that is precisely what the Real Estate Regulatory Bill of 2013 intended, to remove every sort of ambiguity. For example, it said that once the plan is approved, you cannot change it. The new bill in the amendment says minor alterations. What is minor alteration? What is minor for me can be major for you. Now, it has not described what is minor alteration. Now, this, as the respected Supreme Court advocate said, that these are things that can lead to litigation. Now, a builder can go and fight 3,000 people, he will hire a lawyer, but what will a person who's got a salary of 50, 60, 70,000, 80,000 rupees a month, does he do a job or start going to courts and fight these guys?
Yeah.
No, and in order to bring transparency, we said that no member of the Real Estate Regulatory Authority can take any job with the organization that he has worked with or whose plans that they have been approved by them in order to remove any possible collusion of vested interest. That has been removed.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, fair enough. Let's see.
Right. So every sort of
what the BJP is also saying at the end of the day, Rashmikant, what the BJP is saying is that, we are bringing about amendments. We are willing to sit down and discuss all of this.
And I would also like to clarify on this.
All of this. But do they not think through before bringing a bill?
What I want to say is, every act comes along with there are rules and regulations. The rules are also part of the act only. Later on, minor issues and etc., they have to be defined under the rules and regulations. And that is also part of the bill. We should consider this. And another thing is, there is a regulatory tribunal which will take care of minor disputes. If you make such an act which is only take care of single stakeholder, it will never be implementable. You have to bring, the duty of the government is to bring together the stakeholders and bring them to a common
Why have you not mentioned it in the bill?
A grievance redressal
For example,
mechanism.
we mentioned a very minor
grievance
matter.
redressal mechanism to the investor
we mentioned a very minor matter. That walls are not part of carpet area.
Fair enough. Yes.
For some people it will be minor, but it's a very major,
if you agree to
issue.
This, there are different interpretations.
We went to that extent, to that detail, to define in order to bring transparency and avoid ambiguity.
Area is multiplied.
Right. But even the BJP spokesperson here is saying that we are willing to sit down and thrash out all these details.
And finally, I tell you, they are saying so sacrosanct about the covered area. There are several definitions in the covered area which the builders
are not talking about covered area. We are talking about carpet area. You are not even clear.
Hold on.
There's a difference between covered area and carpet area also.
I am saying there are various interpretations in all the acts. You have to come to a common platform.
We brought those ambiguities to an end.
And there is a tribunal which will take care of investors.
Sukhpal, you want to make a point?
My request is, whatever it is, it seems like a fight for a common man.
Yes.
Where that common man is not being asked, rest everybody is being asked. So, if my case is there, I am saying roti, kapda or makan. Mera makan ka mudda hai. I want a house. And I am not saying कि मेरे को आप AC भी दो, मेरे को आप satellite TV भी दो, आप मेरे को ये भी दो. Like they have added the word commercial also. पहले जो घर का मुद्दा है, जो personal वाला जो है, home का है, पहले वो तो resolve कर ले. And please, whosoever is discussing, debating, please involve the common man.
Absolutely.
Right now,
the
what is happening?
Who's being affected?
Yeah, right now, we have made attempts, with all due regards, we have made attempts, contacting a couple of senior people, and we have made attempts contacting Mr. Naidu also.
And what happened? What was the result of it?
I just not...
What was the result of the discussion?
Let him complete. Let him complete.
Please. No, it seems like, I'm being...
it's a tug of war.
It's being tug of war, and the best part is that I am sitting in between these guys. And coming back to the point, we requested him. However, probably they are busy in some other issues, or probably they think that right now the common man has been used for whatever reasons they wanted to use it. So right now, immediately, there is no such election. So let us park that common man outside and let us fight. In case we cannot convince them, let's confuse them.
I want to make one short comment. I want to make very short comment on this.
One more small point.
I'll come back to you. Let Gopal counter what he has to say, because it's a direct allegation against the BJP. So go ahead.
He said that he has tried to contact some senior people in the BJP. I just want to assure him that today only I just went to the office of the president. They mentioned that if there are some problems and issues, go and talk to the consumers, their association.
Absolutely.
I have told before also here that we will take your consideration. Your suggestions definitely will be considered at the party. If there are some improvement, why won't we do it? Well, I don't understand when we are ready to even discuss in the parliament, ready to meet them.
But discussion in the parliament is not enough, because the common man's views are not taken in parliament.
If there are any grievances and genuine concerns, that
what the common man wants, Gopal Krishna, what the common man wants at the end of the day is they want to be a part of this debate so that they too can be taken into consideration. Is
and
that correct?
Agree with their contentions.
At least, make that common man feel important,
No, and you have to be a part of it. This should not be a builder nexus with the party. It should be a consumer-oriented bill.
There have been news, specifically some builders, they met some senior people, and the bill was tweaked to their needs. So it can be a reality also, it can be a perception also.
Okay, so let me give you one more example.
However,
quickly, and then
I'll give you one more example.
Hold on. Brigadier has been quiet for some time now. He wants to come in.
Can I make just one more
I'll
point?
come back to you.
I want to, that few points have been brought out here. When this bill was presented in Rajya Sabha, there was a parliamentary committee headed by Mr. Sharad Yadav, the very renowned and very senior politician. He had called minimum about 200 odd people in the Parliament House, and from every walk of life in the real estate sector, there was great discussion, and most of his suggestions made, I feel, had been included in the bill through the amendments. So most of these amendments, what you see is recommended by the parliamentary committee.
So did Mr. Sharad Yadav recommend that it should be called rentable area, not usable area?
No,
did he say that?
These are small aspects of it.
No, this is not a small aspect.
I mean to say you can sit down and debate all of these aspects.
I do not know what he has recommended.
One particular aspect of
Did
it.
Mr. Sharad Yadav say that they should be allowed to take 50% off? Did Mr. Sharad Yadav say that the builder should charge the consumer, this consumer, 24% a year, and the builder gives him 5% a year for the delays? Did they say that?
There is no 24% and 5%.
That is what, ask him.
Yes. No, the clauses are such if it is levied by the builder, if it is levied by the builder, then it is correct. But if the buyer asks it, no, that's not right.
Everything is required. Tomorrow somebody can sit along with clause-wise clause discussion. That can be a clause-by-clause discussion, and if there is any issue, that can be sorted out.
And we are
unfortunately,
and amendments brought out is no. I think these amendments have been discussed.
Is such a debate, such a topic that we can go on speaking about, but we're completely running out of time. And I want to get in one comment from Sudipta Kumar Pal as well, because unfortunately he's not here with us, so we can tend to forget him and forget that he's on the panel. But Sudipta Kumar Pal, closing comments from you, please.
I need to bring one point.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I think it is time that we look at the past experience of home buyers, people who have bought in the recent past or in far past. If we see that this law can plug their pain, the kind of agony they have gone through, whether it has been the carpet area, super area debate, whether it has been because of the lopsided builder-buyer agreement, or it has been due to the change in the amendment plan, the original plan, or it has been due to the lack of compensation or transparency. I think if this act does not address those issues of people who have been suffering for the past 5 years, it will not be able to do so for in future. If it cannot do for in future, I think this act needs to be revisited, a debate in the parliament. I think we've got excellent lawmakers and parliamentarians. They would be seeing it through. I think some bit of changes will be brought about, and this legislation needs to come out. It is high time. People's trust in the sector has really gone down. It is time that it comes in. I think some kind of a law.
There's no trust in the real estate sector,
and strictness should come through.
I think there is a consensus that there is no trust in the real estate sector, and that's why everyone wants to come. Okay, very quickly. I must give you 10 seconds. 10 seconds each.
No. Make 20 seconds. This is where the misinterpretation can come. In the UPA bill, it did not allow for any extension. You've said you're going to finish it in 3 years, you've got to finish it in 3 years. And except, of course, force majeure. In addition to force majeure, what they've added is the word which may include the delay, which may include completion of issue of completion certificate approvals. What will this do? This will bring a nexus between the officials and the builder, and therefore the project, the builder will say, I'm not at fault. The project will go from 3 years to 8 years. What is going to happen?
Secondly, we're completely out of time. Let me just give the others also 10 seconds. Sukhpal, 10 seconds.
1 second. We wanted for the consumer an agreement to sell where every bit of fittings is decided beforehand.
Fair enough.
And it is to be approved by the real estate authority.
Fair enough.
Taken that away and said all
completely out of time.
In 10 seconds. Coming back to the point what Brigadier Singh said about those 200 people, we represent NGO named Nifova. We have around 3.5 lakh buyers who have been associated with us. However, no such consultation, no such feedback was taken, number one. Number two, the positive part, and specifically from the media, is that there is a political will that I can see. It is coming in picture. And yesterday, when we met...
Okay, completely out of time. When we met Gopal Krishna, 10 seconds, please. Completely out of time.
What I want to say is there is a general consensus that this sector is quite unregulated. We need a regulatory authority, and this bill will put a regulatory authority in place. I request my opposition party to tomorrow, when the bill comes, be part of the debate, discuss your issues. We are ready to resolve them, and let this bill be passed and be made an act where it will ultimately help the consumers and houses and fulfill our target of
Gentlemen, thank you. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of the debate. I'd like to thank all my guests at this point in time. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being a part of the program. We've reached some kind of a consensus as far as the political parties are concerned. Hopefully, the road ahead is going to be very clear, and hopefully, this particular issue will be sorted out at the earliest. Thank you so much for watching.